You are watching Fugitive Red-Eye, and this is another video that's I'm going to do a full playthrough of Conker's Bad Fur Day. Unfortunately, since I have to do all my voiceovers in post, this isn't going to be your traditional Let's Play where it's me like it's live, but it's more of a commentary on the game and things like that. This game is probably one of the most nostalgic games of all time for me. Very memorable. I played it as a little kid all the time, even though it is clearly a M-rated game. Another thing is that it's probably one of the... It was my favorite game for a long time, and it might still be. I don't know. It's hard to decide. But this game is a really good game. It's made by Rare. That's the company that made Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie and, you know, Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong 64. This game was actually originally going to be a kid-friendly game called 12 Tells Conker 64, or Conker's Quest. But they got a lot of criticism for that, because everyone said it was going to be the same as all their other platformers, so they decided to make it an adults-only game, or rather a M-rated game. But that was all for the better. This game made my childhood and got me into Rare in the first place. I actually hadn't played Banjo-Kazooie before I played this, so this was the thing that launched my interest into Rare. It's pretty sad, actually, because I have the entire opening script, this entire opening cutscene memorized. I could say this entire speech at the beginning from memory. I've played through this so many times. Obviously, I'm playing this on Rare Replay at the moment, because that's the easiest way to record it. Rare Replay is a great collection. If you don't have it, I would definitely recommend it, just because it has 30 of Rare's games, this included, and this game's one of the more irritating ones to try and emulate, so... And plus, you know, I have the physical copy of Bad Fur Day still. It's not in the best condition, but it works great. Snowman actually has one that has the box and manual. I bought it for him for Christmas, so... Lucky bastard, but that's mainly just because I conned him out of his copy when we were kids. I actually have all the cheats for this game memorized too, and like I said, I've played through this countless times, as well as Live and Reloaded, but just a few more, I would say, just because this is probably more... if you don't know what Live and Reloaded is, it's an Xbox remake of this game. That's the exact game, pretty much. Has different controls, though. Has a couple of minor differences with the cutscenes, but has a completely different multiplayer that isn't anywhere near as good. As far as that goes, Live and Reloaded, it has its reason to exist. It uncensored one of the scenes, actually, that's censored in the war chapter. I'll mention which scene it is when I get to it. But I first played this game at my friend's house, or actually it was at my cousin's house that I first played it. I went over and we were playing it in his room, and we're playing Heist was the first thing I played. Second thing I played was the mugged level on story mode. I would also play this at my friend's house a lot as a kid. Just a lot of great memories from this game. I was completely obsessed with it for a while. I actually have a file, like a big binder, just filled with pictures of this game. It's ridiculous, but you know what? That's how I roll. Conker is the shit. And it deserves a true sequel. It was given a sequel on Project Spark as an add-on thing, but it deserves a real standalone sequel, I would say. But no, they don't. It hasn't got one yet, so that's a little bit disappointing. Rare, you need a... But unfortunately, Rare has kind of fallen apart ever since Microsoft acquired it. I'm glad that Playtonic, which is a company created by a lot of former Rare staff to make a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie is also a great game, so that's really fun. And that's also included on Rare Replay, so... Rare Replay is a really good collection, again. I'm not trying to advertise or anything, but I'm just stating the facts. It is an amazing collection. And, if you haven't played these games, you've definitely missed out, so I would definitely recommend that you play especially Conker. Probably what I would say the highlight of Rare's career. I'm sure people would disagree. Some people would say Donkey Kong Country, others would say Banjo-Kazooie. But for me, it's always Conker. And it always will be Conker. Conker was the reason to play the N64. It was the reason I bought one. And when we bought it, it was like 20 bucks to get this game on eBay. But now it goes for anywhere from 80 to 300 or 400, so you know, it's kind of expensive to get nowadays, but yeah, that's how it is. They really don't make games like they used to. I mean, stuff like this was fantastic. Nowadays, it's all focused on online multiplayer and things like that. But back in these days, it was all about the story and the gameplay and stuff like that. About the single player. This particular game has quite a few cutscenes, but you know what? Those cutscenes are what makes the game entertaining. And, you know, it's something that I think gets overlooked a lot nowadays. Like, whenever you replay a game, a lot of the times you'll skip through the cutscenes. But on these older games, cutscenes were, you know... I mean, you can skip through them once you've played through it, but this opening cutscene you can't ever skip through, because the only way to see it is by starting a new game, but... I don't know, I always felt that, they don't focus enough on the story mode nowadays. It's all about the multiplayer and online stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling because, you know, I'm more into older games than I am into newer games. Modern gaming, I feel, has quite a few issues. A lot of games are online only nowadays, and almost every game you see nowadays has microtransactions, so I don't know. Modern gaming isn't as fun as it could be. But, I remember, this level is actually one of the levels that's different on Live and Reloaded, and I apologize for that. When I was recording the gameplay, the controller disconnected. But, on Live and Reloaded, the scene was a little bit different. Number one, there was actually a gate that you could walk through, just go straight to Birdie instead of having to walk around all the way. But as far as that goes, this is, another couple of little differences in this level is, when you get the frying pan, which I'm going to do in just a little bit here, instead of keeping the frying pan, you get a baseball bat in Live and Reloaded, which they did as a joke to make you think that the entire game was different, or at least that's what the Gargoyle claims. Although Live and Reloaded is essentially the same game, it does have its differences. That's one of them. Another one is they took out a scene with a teddy on a turret in the war chapter, which I will point out when I get to it. But, another thing, Conker's big reunion. I noticed they kind of did a throwback to this scene, because you see Birdie again and begin going through, you know, the context-sensitive stuff and whatnot. The context-sensitive, I thought, was a great way to explain away shit that's always really convenient in these games, you know, just giving you exactly what you need at that moment in time. But yeah, oh, also, this Beardy thing, that's a reference, actually, to... There was a member of Rare, who's nicknamed Beardy, who they make another reference to later, which I will point out, but that's why Birdie, he calls him Beardy at first, because it's a reference to a member of the design team. If you notice, in the in this version, they changed the buttons on the speech bubbles to match the Xbox One buttons rather than the 64 buttons like they originally were. Okay, also, I'm gonna press B 3 times here on Birdie, because each time it does a different thing. And then I'm gonna punch him a bunch for a good reason, which, if you punch him in Bad Fur Day, he tells you to fuck off. It's censored, but he still tells you to. But in Live and Reloaded, if you punch him, he doesn't tell you to fuck off. Because, you know, Live and Reloaded was overtly censored. Or you could try it again. Which is exactly what I'm gonna do. I remember I would always press it 3 times as a kid, just to make sure that I got all of these. Just imagine if you were new to the game, and just tried that, and you thought that was what you were supposed to do, and it's like, oh, that was very helpful, you know, you just get drunk and pass out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna go press the other button. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. On an unrelated note, I just saw the new Star Wars movie. It was actually really good. I would definitely recommend you go see it if you haven't. Looks like my thoughts about Disney ruining Star Wars are at least wrong for now. And I say that because I'm sure that if they keep going too long, that they could still fuck it up.
It seems to me that these are just what I need at that moment in time.
Gotta love that context sensitive.
I see what he means. Context sensitive. Clever.
Well, at least in this game, they try to explain everything to a point. Hell, they even explain your lives. I mean, I haven't gotten to that yet because I haven't died in this save game yet, but I'm sure I will soon, so you'll see it.
You will have to watch them at least once.
I'm thinking after I play through this game, I'll probably do a playthrough of Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, but I may have already said that, I don't know. It's hard to keep track of everything I say. Also, this helicopter-y tail thing, I'm not sure if this is confirmed or not, but this is kind of a rip-off of Tails from Sonic. Which, or at least, you know, because Tails has a very similar move, so that's what I've heard it originated from. On Live and Reloaded, if you fall off these upper platforms, it'll take you right back to the start of the platforms rather than the beginning of the level down there. Because Live and Reloaded, they made quite a few things easier. But, this game is still overall the better game. And, it's not really that hard of a game when you know what to do. It can be difficult at times, especially in the war chapter when you get to the countdown part. And in the spooky chapter when you get to the zombies part, that's pretty difficult. But once you get the hang of it, it's not that bad. But yeah, this part's a little bit different in Live and Reloaded too. As I said before, when you get out the frying pan, you hit the key with the frying pan, or actually, in Live and Reloaded, some spike imps swallow the key. And you have to kill them and get the key, and then use with the frying pan. And then, when you get to the gargoyle, the frying pan doesn't knock him over, so you pull out a baseball bat. But that's really the only major difference with the training level, at least. Like I said, there's a couple other differences later on in the story mode, which I'll point out as well, but since I don't have, like, side-by-side footage of Live and Reloaded, I'm not going to obviously have clips of it, because, like I said, this is just a straight playthrough of Bad Fur Day, with sort of my commentary, which is, again, unscripted, so I'm just kind of saying whatever comes to my mind at that moment in time. Kind of like random thoughts, only... You know, I try to keep it as Conker themed as possible. Obviously, that Star Wars comment wasn't Conker themed, but it's whatever. You know, like I said, I'll just say whatever I'm thinking of at that moment in time. And if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. If you don't, you don't. I just thought doing a playthrough of Conker's Bad Fur Day would be a fun thing to do, so that's why I'm doing it. Get right up your ass, you know.
Thought it was about time to move on to a bridge, say. I'm not moving now.
Isn't it a little bit early in the day to start talking about...
I wonder if that's supposed to be an inside joke. Is it a little bit early in the day to start talking about Gothic architecture? Because I don't know, it seems odd to me.
A frying pan. You stupid little...
Also in Live and Reloaded, when you hit the gargoyle with a baseball bat, he doesn't fall off and hit the ground. Instead, he falls back and gets crushed by this boulder. But that's only because there is no ground down there in Live and Reloaded. It just brings you right back up to the bottom platform. Alrighty, now I'm really bad at this jump. I'm going to warn you now. So I'm going to jump cut to when I actually make it up there because I fall here and it's a bit of a pain in the ass. I don't know why I have such difficulty with it, but I do. So... I will jump cut in 3, 2, 1, now. Wasn't that a great jump cut? Yeah, I know, It's kind of funny that I had to do a jump cut, but for whatever reason, every time it's the first time I do that jump, I fuck up. The second or third time is always when I get it, even though I know how to do it, and I can do any other jump in the game. But whatever. I fucked up at that point, so yeah. This is the end of the Hungover chapter. The final cutscene here for the Hungover chapter, and then we'll be on to the Windy chapter. At least the first part of it, because the Windy chapter actually goes on for quite a few different parts of the game where it'll keep coming back. Also, that professor has a name in Live and Reloaded, for those of you who didn't know. His name is Von Cripplespeck. That name was first mentioned in Live and Reloaded's Chapter X multiplayer, which, you know, it's kind of a secondary story mode, which is another good thing I liked about Live and Reloaded. I think it's funny how the whole premise of this game is because Panther King spilled his milk because he's too stupid to put on another table leg. I love how he's, like, contemplating this like it's some sort of giant mathematical, metaphysical dichotomy, if you will. Thinking that this is some sort of great issue to be solved. And thinking really hard. I wonder if this duct tape thing is an inside joke at Rare as well. I mean, I don't know, I'm pretty sure Rare has a lot of inside jokes that they put into their games, so like that whole beardy thing, which will come back again. Not in this video, but most likely in the next. Also, in Live and Reloaded, this part is overly censored. They censor asshole and arsehole, so there's even more beeps in Live and Reloaded. So I'm not saying much, this part's one of my favorite parts. And that's how you get your health. So there you go. They explain something else. But yeah, that's it for this video, I would say. Tune in next time, whenever that'll be, for the Barn Boys chapter. So yeah, enjoy.